The time has come to midnight, and the trial has officially arrived. The end of Earth, the trial has officially begun. Those surviving humans will become evolvers. Is this the trial an opportunity or a danger? Everything is decided by one's own strength. At this moment, I am looking at the changing world outside. Suddenly, the hourglass I am wearing underwent a change. The sands of time completed recognition, and the binding began. I was very surprised by this sudden event. Realizing that a few people from the Purple Jade Song are still around me, I want them to leave quickly. After all, the secret of the hourglass cannot be known by anyone. When I looked back, I saw an unexpected scene. I saw several people standing still as if time had stopped. At this moment, I looked out the window. To my surprise, the falling plane was actually hovering in the air. At that moment, I realized that time had paused. Suddenly, the hourglass emitted waves of light. Sands of time binding successful. As I checked the attributes, I understand that my reincarnation is indeed because of the hourglass. Sands of time also has the effect of saving and loading states. I was very surprised to see this skill. Such a powerful life-saving skill has a cooldown time of only 1 hour. After a moment, time returned to normal. Purple Jade Song asked me if I had just called them a few people. I immediately asked them to confirm the safety inside the villa, and arranged for people to be vigilant around the clock. The time arrived the next day. Most of the people have already mutated. I saw a large group of zombies at the door. Purple Jade Song immediately activates Eye of Amethyst, which can transform objects into amethyst for both offense and defense. Then, activate Insight Crystal to view the target's attributes. Instantly, the attributes of the zombie are all displayed before her eyes. Just in an instant, those zombies perished in an instant. On the other side, Frozen awakens the assassin's path. She is able to conceal her own breath. In just a blink of an eye, those zombies were all killed by her. While Zinnia Su awakened the Restore talent, which can heal injuries and restore physical strength. Now everything is proceeding smoothly under my arrangement. I am very satisfied with the current situation, and I have more important things to do. I disappeared from Lian Lu's sight as soon as I finished speaking. In the previous life, I once saw a sign when the end approached, but it was only after a long time that I understood what it was. And this time, I must seize this opportunity. Soon I arrived at River City University. This is the location where the mark appeared in the previous life. And the mark in the sky is actually a projection of a deity's avatar. I immediately ran towards the direction where the mark appeared. Just then, a voice called out to me. Not many strong young fellows, like you are seen in the early stages of the trial. I am a merchant. Are you interested in doing some trading with me? I immediately expressed my eagerness upon hearing this. It is my honor to be able to trade with you. The merchant doesn't understand what's so honorable about a trade. I say it's my fortune to hear your divine name. I've been looking forward to meeting you. Deity of Trade Rado, at your service. He pulled out a card as a gift when we met. He said that this is his golden membership card for the Goblin Trading Guild. Owning this card allows one to enjoy discounts. I was delighted to see this scene. I remember in the previous life, he was already immune to praise and flattery. Shortly after, the Deity of Trade took out 2 S-rank item products. One is the Thunder Walker Specialization Scroll, and the other is named Death's Embrace. Seeing this item made me realize that the Thunder Walker Scroll from my past life was purchased here. But unfortunately, I don't have the ability to purchase it now. Then I continued, although I can't afford to buy it. But I know that the gods cannot directly participate in the trial, and need to invest in the Evolver to profit from it. You must also be here for the purpose of investment, right? Upon hearing this, the Deity of Trade immediately smiled. Are you asking for my investment? I then spoke of the treasure coveted by the gods, and hoped to use it for investment. At this moment, the Deity of Trade expressed that investment requires returns. Why do you believe you can bring me returns far beyond its value? Even if you are my worshipper, I will not engage in unprofitable business for you. My left hand changes into bony talon. My right hand changes into heavy hammer. And showed him my SSS rank talent. This is my credential. Upon seeing my talent deity of trade, he quickly applauded and cheered. He had not originally planned to invest that treasure so early. But now there is such a tempting candidate. He decided to give me a chance. I was a little excited to hear this. I asked if I could get the investment for that treasure. The deity of trade said that this is not enough. To obtain the highest level of investment, one needs to prove their value with their own strength and growth. After saying that, Rado assigned me the first task. He then handed me a coin. After completing the task, I can summon his projection through gold. I, who accepted the task, want to take a look at what exactly that treasure is. At this moment, a golden light suddenly appeared. A scroll called the Dual Class Specialization Scroll appeared. What I saw was an item that allows the user to simultaneously possess two professions. The transaction is complete. Rado is about to leave. And he is very happy with the meeting today. He hopes I can complete the task as soon as possible. I then open the task panel. An SSS rank mission called Ultimate Investment appears. When I check the mission rewards, I found out that the right of interpretation belongs to Rado. He truly deserves the title of Deity of Trade. But thinking about his good reputation in the previous life, if I can complete the task beautifully, he should not treat me unfairly. And what surprises me is that there is actually a dungeon in River University at the beginning of the apocalypse. After all, I had never heard of it in the previous life. It must be in some hidden location. River City University Sports Hall at the moment. A man asked everyone to take off their clothes, and he asked them to make a satisfying appearance to become his own slave. If they didn't obey, he would immediately take that person's life. One of them cursed, "You white pig!" At this time, the girl beside stepped forward to stop him, asking him not to go too far. Upon hearing this, the man slapped her directly, sending her flying. Just then, the door that was blocked suddenly exploded open. Several people looked surprised at the door. "Foreign devil, these students were beaten by you, right?" At this moment, the man still looked disdainful and very arrogant. And I had already disappeared from the original spot, rushing towards him. "It's you, then go to hell. I killed the foreign devil on the spot." Seeing this, his little brother wanted to make a move. But they are just like trying to break a rock with an egg. Then I asked if any of them were from medical schools. I am looking for something, and need the help of medical students. The onlookers all began introducing their majors. At this moment, one person pointed to the girl who had just been beaten. She is a student from the medical school. The girl who heard this was suddenly very flustered. She hastily pleaded and explained that she did not throw a punch. She anxiously said that she likes people of the Long Kingdom, but she is just white on the outside and yellow on the inside. This immediately caused the people around to burst into laughter. The girl standing by stepped forward to defuse the situation. She indeed did not hit anyone. And she was even trying to reason with those two foreigners. Later, I allowed them to leave. But she wanted to stay. And I had everyone walk along the body of the zombie. Let them head to the River City East Mountain Villa area and mention White Chen's name. Someone will take care of you when you arrive. The crowd is worried that it is not safe outside with all the zombies. I expressed that I have already taken care of all the zombies along the way. And your survival means that you are an evolver with talent. If you keep being afraid and timid and dare not face the zombies, you will also be on a dead-end road. At this moment, the girl did not understand why they wanted to leave her alone. Suddenly, a bad idea came to mind. And she immediately said she was willing to be my big ocean horse. I then told her that I was not interested in a big ocean horse that thousands of people ride. I stayed with her because I needed someone from the medical school to help me find something for myself. The girl then realized that she had misunderstood. Later, She said that she had never been ridden by anyone and wanted to confirm this with me. I was amused to hear this. I'd like to see how she plans to prove it. 2.5 hours later, the girl emerged from the corridor breathing heavily along with me. I soon arrived at the research building of the medical school. She mentioned that there are many samples of bacteria and viruses here. I then entered the virus research lab here. I was shocked when I saw the facilities inside. I didn't expect River City University to have such a treasure trove. I then began to devour various viruses here, but most of them are influenza viruses. At this time, a panel popped up with a prompt. Obtaining enough influenza viruses will upgrade the skill of influenza becoming a skill. At this point, I checked the introduction of this skill. However, it surprised me a lot. Sneezing is an incredibly powerful control effect. And before, when browsing the talent skill tree, I didn't pay much attention to viruses in real life, but now I need to focus more on upgrading this aspect. I exclaimed. Truly deserving of the SSS rank, talent is truly terrifying. At this moment, I realized that Goblin Deities, the trial, is definitely not simple. Afterward, I increased the power of the surplus virus points. At this point, a prompt appeared to unlock the skill, dashing across rooftops and walls, which allows attachment to any surface through dark light virus. And combat focus enhances control over all muscles in the body. At that time, I simply threw a punch. The walls of the laboratory were instantly crushed. The girl who saw the scene was very shocked. She thought to herself that fortunately I didn't use this in bed just now. Otherwise, I might have been in trouble. Looking at the scene in front of me, I am very satisfied with this passive skill. Suddenly, I sensed that the crematorium had something I was looking for. When I opened the door, I saw a red portal. So I immediately stepped forward to confirm entering the dungeon. At this time, a prompt popped up. Successfully clearing the dungeon can make it permanently exist. If the dungeon is not cleared within 2 days, it will permanently disappear. At this moment, I finally understand why I never heard of this place in my previous life. Suddenly, the bed in front of me started to move strangely. I immediately assume a fighting stance and prepare for battle. I only need one hit to instantly kill one of them. While at this moment, the other zombie is storing power for a skill above its head. But in front of my heavy hammer, it is vulnerable and can be defeated with a single blow. After killing the zombie, I explained that the XP obtained from the special dungeon is indeed very high. I looked at the zombie constantly attacking me, and for a moment, I appeared particularly excited. At this moment, my experience points are continuously increasing. 2.5 minutes later, I was prompted that my level had reached level 4, and I gained 2 free attribute points. Then I looked towards the incinerator, which was constantly making strange noises, wanting to help the dungeon boss break its shell. Suddenly, a loud noise made me immediately become serious. When I saw the pieces of meat hidden inside, it actually made me feel very uneasy. Then I prepared to kill it before it transformed. However, the next second, the meat pieces transformed into arms and blocked my attack. Next, I unleashed the crowd control skill Evolver Influenza. The skill was dispelled by the monster's fierce roar. The hint shows that the skill is ineffective against the target. The next second, the flesh lump strike unexpectedly sent me flying. And the arm that I had just hit slowly began to heal. Then we fought again. The arm of the biochemical fiend was severed by me directly. The arm that was instantly severed by me grew back again. I was very excited to see this scene. After all, I haven't encountered an opponent that could make me go all out since I was reborn. Now I'm just stretching my legs with this biochemical fiend. Then I can continuously inflict damage on it. The biochemical fiend can heal immediately. Then I activate the hourglass's ability to read its status. I want to see if it really is an immortal being. 2.5 hours later. The biochemical fiend has been tortured by me and cannot recover. An hour later, I have started urging the biochemical fiend to recover quickly. 2.5 minutes later. The biochemical fiend has been beaten by me, and only a piece of tumor is left. But it is the strongest enemy I have encountered so far. Let me have a good time. Later, I stomped it into mincemeat with 1 foot. After killing the biochemical fiend, my level rose to level 5 due to my successful clearance. The incinerator dungeon then transformed into a permanent dungeon. At this moment, the panel reminds me whether to upload the clearance video as a paid video guide. I see the setting to hide the name and appearance. I will choose to upload it immediately. Currently inside Purple Jade Song's villa, Zinnia Su is treating her injuries. She suddenly saw a person named White upload a video. For a moment, various evolvers paid 1 copper to start watching. Some people haven't even seen my speed clearly. They need to slow down to see it clearly. The audience all marvels at how fast and fierce I am, just like your favorite YouTuber, so don't forget to subscribe. But some people also feel that my style of play may not be suitable for everyone. After all, the recovery speed of Biochemical Fiend is very fast. But most people are shocked by my strength. For a while, the group became very lively. Everyone complained about the huge gap between themselves and me. Some people even saw such a strong boss, and thought there must be other solutions. At this moment, I began to absorb the corpses of the biochemical fiends. At this point, the panel informed me that I had obtained the exclusive evolution points of the Darklight virus. These are points that can only be used for the skills and abilities of the Darklight virus. However, I am quite satisfied with this. Then it prompted me again that the Darklight virus was evolving. Life recovery speed is increased, and acquire the biochemical fiend skill cell rebirth. I was shocked when I saw its effects. It can regenerate severed limbs using stamina or other energy. I want to see the boss of this nightmare difficulty in the end. I wonder what treasures it can drop. 3 pieces of golden equipment appeared before my eyes at this moment. The first one is a scroll called a rank biochemical fiend. It is a type of evil profession that can absorb other life forms to enhance itself. However, I already have the SSS rank Darklight virus. The second item is a bottle of gene essence. I feel this item is pretty good, so I'll drink it immediately. Then I will make use of the last item. Looking at this strange item, I also don't know if it is a special prop or equipment. The description of the faceless skin is also ambiguous. I don't know if the effect is to change one's own body or equipment. At this point, I open the inventory. I remember that the little monster dropped some items earlier. Although they are all some basic leather normal equipment, they can be worn as inner armor. Suddenly, I see a D rank activated cells skill book. I intended to use it, but it prompts that it's not valid because I already have a higher version of cell regeneration. But I think it doesn't matter. After all, this kind of skill book can be exchanged for some things in the chat group. I then prepared to leave this place, thinking of handing over the part of the boss's body to Rado. This should be considered completing the mission. When I think about how quickly I completed the task, it will surely surprise him greatly. But then, I remembered his name, Deity of Goblin and Trade. This suddenly made me feel that things might not be so simple. After all, Rado is not a wandering merchant who moves aimlessly. He must have come here for a reason. At this moment, I remembered Rado saying before he left that I was an unexpected gain. It's very likely that his original purpose was this special dungeon. Now I haven't found anything valuable here. Something that can project a divine avatar must be quite valuable. For a moment, this also made me a little confused. Or perhaps there is something I overlooked in this dungeon. Then I came to the entrance of the incinerator. This is the only place inside that I haven't explored yet. Then I walked in. But I didn't find anything special inside. Later, I came to a pipe opening. In order not to miss any information, I decided to go up and take a look. After entering, I found that this pipe was even longer than the room. Just when I was wondering, I suddenly found that I had reached the top. Seeing the empty pipe made me feel uneasy. At this moment, I knocked on the top. Suddenly, a golden mask appeared before my eyes. I was very surprised to see this scene. It turned out to be a prop, and it is an existence that Cosmic will cannot explain. The question mark above made me feel that it is highly likely a fragment of an SSS rank prop, or a prop related to the gods. I see this mask and I'm sure it must be a good thing. It also made me understand that Rado's purpose is this, and I decided to find a way to keep it. Later, I left the dungeon while the girl was waiting for me outside. She was very excited to see me come out, saying she had watched my videos. "You are really too strong." I then asked her if she had any copper because I needed gold to unlock the warehouse function. Thinking about the video I shared before, 1 copper should have attracted a lot of viewers. To unlock the warehouse, I need 1,000 gold, and looking at my balance, I'm still lacking quite a bit of gold. The warehouse is protected by the cosmic will, which can isolate any detection. It's the safest method to leave items without being discovered. In this situation, I can only choose to submit the mission later. At this time, the girl asked me if I wanted to return to the villa area. I told her that there are many unknown dangers at night. For now, I can only find a place to spend the night. Upon hearing this, she was a little excited. She said she knew that there were several high-end hotels near the school. It's safer to stay on higher floors. Upon hearing that, I also thought it was a good idea, so I asked her to lead the way. We soon arrived at a love hotel near River City University. I chose a room called Ever-Changing Temptation. The girl immediately changed into a different outfit and appeared in front of me. I then indicated that I didn't like this look. She thought that I didn't like it, but I immediately denied it because I didn't like that outfit. Then she went on to change several outfits and asked me if I liked them. But none of these clothes satisfied me. At this point, I asked if there were any more interesting outfits available. In the end, she chose an outfit with animal ear accessories. She asked me if I was satisfied. I think this outfit is not bad. I asked her to be a little pet tonight. After 100 epic battles, the girl has fallen asleep. And I put on my clothes and activated the warehouse function. I placed the mask inside. Then came the final stage of the mission. I threw the coin Rado in my hand, summoning the deity of goblin and trade. When I summoned the deity of trade with the gold I threw, I remembered the famous words from a past life. Emotions are part of the bargaining chip when trading with Rado. In other words, Rado will adjust the rewards to take care of the emotions of the trading party or the target of the mission. But the premise is that the other party has enough value in Rado's eyes. Rado was pleasantly surprised to see me summon him so quickly. "Have you proven your abilities by completing the task?" I immediately threw the piece of meat in my hand towards him. This is a requirement of the task to obtain a body part of a creature in the dungeon. Rado looked at the dried up, blackened, and not fresh piece of meat. He seemed somewhat silent. "It looks like this thing has been dead for quite a while. You should have completed the task last night, right? Why didn't you summon me immediately?" Then he said solemnly, "You must really want that scroll, don't you?" Faced with Rado's questioning, I began my own performance. "I can't figure out why someone as respectful and awe-inspiring as you would hide the difficulty of that dungeon from me. I didn't realize it was nightmare difficulty dungeon until I entered it. If I didn't have some tricks up my sleeve, I might not have made it out alive." Upon hearing this, Rado expressed that he understood my actions and would provide a reasonable explanation. He then said that this was also part of the test. After all such treasures, he cannot entrust it to someone who cannot handle unexpected situations. I don't have anything else to say about this. Proceed to ask about the task rewards and what the next task will be. Rado says that hiding information was their own fault. I also proved my strength. So, this time, you can choose the task reward yourself. And the next task will be the final one. How does that sound? I am very happy to hear this. Thank you for your understanding and generosity, Lord Rado. And this time, the reward is based on the selling price of items with the highest quality of B rank as the limit. I can choose freely. With a snap of Rado's fingers, various blue cards appeared around me. I looked at the dazzling array of items and quickly made a choice. I chose a crafting blueprint for a town portal scroll. Rado praised me for having good taste. Next was the announcement of the final stage of the mission. But when I saw the contents of the mission, I was shocked. Completing the mission requires obtaining 2 SSS rank profession scrolls. This task is really difficult. As you know, not even gods are born with SSS rank professions. As the deity of trade, he naturally understands this. Rado's initial profession was only a rank. But that is his most precious treasure. He hopes to go to the best place. Otherwise, it's also very difficult for him to let go. Seeing this, I also feel it's not good to continue talking. I can only accept this very challenging task. At this moment, inside East Mountain Villa area, a mutated giant rat has appeared. The rats are wreaking havoc on everything here. They are helpless against the giant rat Purple Jade's song. Both teams sent out were killed by it. There was no way to counter its attributes that were several times higher. But there needs to be someone staying behind to observe its movements. Suddenly Frozen noticed the movements of the giant rat. She quickly tackled Purple Jade's song to avoid the incoming attack, and ordered everyone to get out of the way immediately. But those who were slow to react were still hit by the giant rat's attack. The difference in strength left them helpless. Even retreating, they were no match for the agility of the giant rat. Just as the two were discussing, the giant rat launched another attack towards them. In this critical moment, I suddenly appeared above the giant rat's head. A swift kick knocked the monster down, successfully interrupting the giant rat's offensive. Purple Jade's song was very surprised and delighted when she realized it was me who had arrived. Looking at the disheveled duo and the shabby surroundings, it seems I came back just in time. Then instruct Frozen to send someone to clean up the battlefield. Make sure to compensate and reward those who died in battle adequately. Afterwards, have Purple Jade's song explain what exactly happened. Then I returned to the villa. I learned that these giant rats suddenly appeared while cleaning up the zombies. They also destroyed 6 warehouses, with casualties totaling over 100 people. I looked at the tired expressions of several people and realized that they hadn't rested for a long time. They handed the remaining giant rats to me, and I will go investigate the source. At this time, Sister Purple was worried that no one would take care of me if everyone went to rest, and she recommended a candidate to me. Then she let a person named Lingyu come in. She said that this person was saved when cleaning the villa area. She has known him for a long time. She also mentioned that she used to be a lawyer and can help me establish rules. She is willing to join me. I asked Lingyu to stay. The others can go and rest. Seeing this, Lingyu is also very sensible. Just let me know if there is anything you need her to do. I heard that people in your line of work are very eloquent. Let me experience your speaking skills. After I rewarded Lingyu, I was very satisfied with her eloquence. Shortly after, I got up and asked her to come to the French window. Then I explained the rules here to Lingyu. But before I could finish, she struck a poised pose as if ready for action. I was momentarily stunned by her appearance. Didn't you hear what I just said? Upon seeing this, Lingyu realized that she had misunderstood. She explained that her ability was to focus and concentrate, which could enhance her mental speed and sensory sensitivity. However, it meant disregarding all other external information. And I called her over just to have her take a look at the 3 areas of East Mountain outside the window. Then she observed the villa district she was in. Upscale residential area halfway up the mountain, and a smaller community at the foot of the mountain. She needs to establish different rules based on the different areas. Lingyu finished speaking and asked me if I had any other requests. I looked thoughtful. I'm really curious about how attentive you are when focusing. How high will your sensory sensitivity increase? Lingyu instantly understood my meaning at the mention. Then she once again supported herself on the floor-to-ceiling window with both hands and said she was ready. This boring segment was watched by this YouTuber for you. Just subscribe and turn on notifications. Maybe I'll explain it to you well in the future. The next day came, and I led a group of people to a certain water outlet. Based on yesterday's architectural drawings and mutated rats, I found this place. And inside is the nest of mutated rats. Although I can clean up quickly on my own, I want to cultivate trustworthy and reliable individuals as soon as possible. Strong individuals who can protect everyone in my absence. This time, I chose you to come in order to help you level up, so that you can become the backbone of the villa area. Are you all ready? Upon hearing my speech, everyone knelt down in unison. We are ready, Master. I feel somewhat uncomfortable when several men call me Master. Please have them call me White Emperor from now on. After hearing my words, everyone was also very excited. Then I came alone to the iron railing in front of the water outlet. With a casual wave of my hand, the iron railing was torn apart like tissue paper. Just then, a prompt popped up, triggering a special mission. All of a sudden, everyone received the same task. The task requirement is to kill all mutated rats and the Rat King, as well as investigate the source of the rat mutation. The rewards will be based on the completion level. Next, I led a group of people to start exploring the sewer. At this moment, I noticed something unusual ahead. I immediately waved my hand to signal to stop moving forward. Suddenly, numerous mutated rats madly attacked. Seeing so many mutated rats took me by surprise. I immediately adopted a battle stance. Everyone, keep up. Make sure to finish off any that are not dead. In no time, everywhere we passed was filled with the bodies of mutated rats. And now we have cleaned up more than a dozen long and short pipelines. I believe we are close to the end soon. At this moment, a person pointed ahead and shouted, "Here comes another one!" Purple Jade's song was ready to show off. I reminded her to use her skills to investigate first before taking action. But when Sister Purple activated the insight crystal to take a look, she found out that this was not just an ordinary mutated rat, but a level 7 boss. This caused her to be unable to view the specific attributes. The basic attributes of the boss were completely beyond her ability to cope with. To prevent accidents from happening, I immediately stepped forward to engage in battle. However, in Purple Jade Song's eyes, an unbeatable presence, I only needed one strike to directly defeat the boss. This directly left Sister Purple, who was standing on the side, speechless. Then the panel indicated that I had dropped an equipment. E-rank armor plague boots. I see it's still a set of equipment. I didn't expect the Rat King to drop a set piece. I immediately equipped it afterwards. Although its quality is lower, if the set is completed, it will be several times stronger than normal equipment. The Plague Rat King is now dead. The only remaining step of the mission is to investigate the cause of mutation. I then led a group of people through several pipes, but did not find any rats. At this point, I signaled everyone to stop. At this moment, there were continuous prompts popping up indicating the first absorption of the virus, and all of them were viruses that I had never seen before. Although it is normal for me to absorb viruses in the sewer, the viruses I am absorbing now are things that did not exist on Earth before the trial. Moreover, both the variety and quantity have reached a level that can be harmful to the evolver. I have come to understand that the source of mutation seems to be not far away. So I instructed several people to stop exploring further and return immediately. This place also makes me feel more and more interesting. With each step taken, the virus count continues to grow. I am very curious about the growth rate when I find the source. Soon I came to the end of this place. For others, this place is hell. But for me, it's simply paradise. However, when I arrived at the source, I saw a corpse. Is this the origin of the plague virus? A moment later, I arrived at the location of the corpse. I felt a very strong plague virus. After observing the corpse for a while, I concluded that the source was the scroll in his hand. I then removed the scroll tightly held by the corpse. I found that this was not a prop. There were no specific clues indicated. The content recorded above is something I have never heard of before. I also don't know what the plague cult does. However, anyway, I can feel that if I absorb the power of this virus above, I will once again make a qualitative leap in my strength. But when I activate the virus absorption, my ability unexpectedly begins to be out of control. Suddenly, the surrounding viruses began to continuously converge towards my hands. Then it prompted me to complete a special task, the lodger of the sewer, and gain the item flesh wall. Immediately after that, a mark appeared on the palm of my hand. Named the Plague Sigil, it is proof of being a core member of the Plague cult. The panel then prompted me again to trigger the mission conditions. It's still a SSS rank mission. After checking the content, I found that it is a mission related to divine power. If you complete the mission and become the deity of plague, then you will have the qualifications to seek revenge against Hellrose. Suddenly, a dungeon portal appears in front of me. I then approach to inspect the dungeon, which turned out to be at Inferno difficulty level. It is even more challenging than the Nightmare difficulty incinerator I encountered before. Fortunately, it takes a month for the dungeon to generate. I will take advantage of this time to improve my abilities before attempting the challenge again. At this moment on the other side, Purple Jade's song discovered that the dungeon in the sewers under East Mountain has been generated. The difficulty is normal, with 3 chances available each day. And the dungeons from level 1 to 10 are perfect for them to level up. Seeing me safely return, Purple Jade's song was very happy. She said she had already sent someone to inform others to come to the dungeon to level up. After all, with only 3 opportunities per day, they cannot be wasted. 2.5 hours later, all the personnel in the villa area gathered. I suggested that they should enter in groups of 4 to 8 people. Life first, benefits second. As for the group from the Purple Jade's song, I am prepared to personally lead them. But I will not take action myself. Instead, I will let them handle it on their own. Then I let a few people join my chat group. Purple Jade's song was very surprised to see that I turned out to be Agent 001. And the numbering is the sequence of becoming an evolver. I reassured her not to be surprised. After all, I am the White Emperor. At this time, Riversong's song next to me asked me why she didn't receive an invitation. I said that I did not invite her because this is my work group. Only loyal and capable people can join. I expressed that I am a little girl scared by a zombie. I couldn't receive the invitation. She thought of a scene where she lost face, which made Riversong feel slightly embarrassed. Don't underestimate people. I have grown up now. Upon hearing this, I immediately took out many equipment for her to choose from. Enter the dungeon so I can see how it goes. After a moment, I led them into the dungeon. Riversong's song spoke first, stating that she could handle it by herself. At this point, I asked Lion Lu what talent they both possessed. Soon after, Lion Lu showed me her talent, Illusory Image, which is rank B and can create intangible illusions based on imagination. She felt that it wasn't particularly useful in combat. Riversong's song's talent is Bright and Intelligent, ranked at level C, which grants a 50% increase in experience points and proficiency growth. But in my opinion, Riversong's song's accelerated growth type talent is currently not as powerful in combat as Lion Lu's talent. Riversong's song, who solved the 3 mice, looked very proud, and said that these mice are much more powerful than the zombies in the past. I see you working so hard to become a member of my working class. Then I'll make an exception to agree to your joining. Riversong's song seems a little shy when hearing my words. I'm not trying to join your working class. I just want to prove myself. Upon hearing her words, I respect your choice. I won't invite you to join anymore. Riversong's song looked unwilling and said she wanted to join. But I still felt unsatisfied as I looked at her hesitant demeanor. I immediately held her firmly in check. At this moment, Purple Jade's song stepped in to help. She mentioned that her daughter really wanted to join. In the morning, she was upset about me introducing Ling Yuqin to her. Upon hearing this, I stopped teasing her. Out of respect for your mother, I will accept the invitation. Soon enough, Riversong's song also successfully joined my harem group. A happy smile appeared on her face as well. Seeing her so arrogant, Purple Jade Song explained that her daughter is just stubborn. After finishing the dungeon and returning to the villa, she promised to make her obediently call me husband. I never expected that Purple Jade Song would send her daughter so decisively to my bed. Purple Jade Song, however, seemed very willing. After all, times have changed now, and their own child has never suffered since childhood. If there is a dad like me, it would be a great blessing. Just now, I released the video of passing the level again. The Awakeners who saw this news were very surprised. They couldn't believe how fast my actions were. After all, some Awakeners have not even seen a dungeon. This time, I set the clearance content to 10 copper. At this time, the blue-haired girl in the hotel felt a little depressed when she saw so many women around me. After watching the video, she marveled at how strong I am. I actually instantly killed the level 10 boss. And the few people beside me, after my guidance, also showed highly skilled combat techniques. At this moment, she really wishes she could be with me and receive my guidance. But some people have a different opinion. Although those girls have decent strength, their practical combat experience is lacking. They are looking forward to the moment when I take action, hoping to learn something from it. Some people also say that I am not that strong, it's just luck. Meanwhile, the teammate beside him immediately denied his statement. Although he is an S-rank talent, he cannot kill the boss in one hit. On the other side, inside Sister Purple's villa, I instructed her to establish economic and equipment trading as soon as possible. After all, everyone will receive some low-level equipment after clearing the sewer dungeon. Next, I took out the equipment I dropped. I will hand over all these things to you. You should be able to see the importance of these things yourself. When Purple Jade Song saw these items, her eyes widened instantly. The first item is called Flesh Wall, which is a wall material that can consume flesh and blood to grow stronger. It is not only stronger than any existing wall material, but also has a powerful potential if utilized well. The second item is a Town Portal Scroll. It only takes 10 seconds to cast, and can teleport you back to a designated city. Seeing this item, Purple Jade Song exclaimed, "With this, I can definitely become the sole ruler of River City in a short amount of time." When seeing the third item, Purple Jade Song looked embarrassed. Its effect is to improve body shape and can transform into any appearance of equipment. Seeing her expression, I asked, "What? Do you think this one is less important compared to the first two?" Upon hearing this, Purple Jade Song quickly denied. "How could that be? You are the master of all. The equipment that pleases you is the most important here." Looking at the enthusiastic Sister Purple, I said, "I don't know much about women's attire. Could you bring me some surprises?" Purple Jade Song looked shy. "There are surprises, but not from me. I promise to let little Riversong officially meet you. After saying that, I'm going to dress up Riversong's song nicely." Time quickly came to night. I appeared in the bedroom of Purple Jade Song, holding the leopard lady who had fallen into a deep sleep on her 10-meter bed. Not only Riversong, but also the others were all asleep here. After a chaotic and exhausting battle, I got up and put on the plague robe, completing 2 pieces of the plague set now. If I have 3 chances to drop an equipment every day, I will be able to collect a full set of equipment after 3 days. I received an invitation from someone named Dreamer in the chat group at this time. She mentioned that she had watched the strategy videos I posted and hoped to receive my guidance. I replied that if specific guidance is needed, I would require some understanding of her. Even if she doesn't want to disclose her talent, sharing her attributes would suffice. To improve combat abilities, Dreamer immediately expressed willingness upon seeing my response. In my previous life, I had never heard of Dreamer. But considering that everyone in the group should at least be a pioneer, her talent should be good. When I saw her talent, I was shocked for a full 2.5 seconds. The talent of Dreamer is unexpectedly an SSS rank supernatural ability that can grow infinitely. A person with such talent is definitely not unknown. Presumably, in her past life, she must have met an early demise. Dreamer then informed me of the effects of Dreamer's ability. Dream Butterfly has the ability to enter the same dream world as the real world as well as enter other people's dreams. Dreamweaving can adjust anything in the dream world. However, currently she can adjust relatively few things. The effect of Same Dream is to create dream totems, inviting others into one's own dream world. After reading Dreamer's ability, I didn't expect her talent to be so powerful. However, a prerequisite is that her physical body cannot be found. Dreamer is preparing to send me a dream totem in the form of a picture. After all, there is no guarantee for me when I'm in her dream. At this point, the dreamer stated that they can sign an evolver contract with me, promising not to take any harmful actions towards me. Upon hearing about the evolver contract, a cosmic well-recognized contract would require at least 10 gold. I don't understand why they would come to me for advice if they really have so much money. At this point, the dreamer explains that they killed monsters in the dream world, and they would also die in reality. They can also adjust the monster drop rates in the dream world through dream weaving. Then she took out 2 skill books as a reward. Seeing this, I couldn't help but sigh. The dreamer's talent ability is no less than that of my own the Virus King. Later, Dreamer explained that although she is strong in dreams, she is very weak in reality. She also has a strong premonition that if she cannot improve her combat skills, she will die sooner or later. I fully agree with this analysis of Dreamer. After all, this ability does not improve physical fitness in any way. Then I asked her to send the formulated evolver contract. Since she is willing to sign the contract, I have no reason to refuse. Moreover, with such a powerful talent, I must recruit her to work for me. Dreamer soon sent the contract. If it is violated, she will lose the identity of Evolver. Then I returned to the bedroom. Dreamer's dream totem needed to be relaxed and gazed at for 3 minutes. If the viewer is cautious, it will take longer. Then she set over the dream totem she had prepared. At this moment, I thought to myself, if her ability evolves to the point of seeing into dreams, I can't believe how terrifying it would be. Soon, I entered the dreamland through the totem of dreams. Upon closing my eyes again, I found myself in a strange and unfamiliar environment. In front of me stood a girl with pink hair. Hello, group owner Boss White. I am Dreamer who just signed a contract with you. After a round of mutual introductions, I expressed that this place is not suitable for combat training. At this moment, Dreamer put down the doll in his hand and said, "Not training here." Then she opened a portal, indicating that she had cleared a stadium by herself. I was somewhat shocked when I saw the scene inside. I was surprised to find out that Dreamer's dream space is so vast, and the sports arena she mentioned is located in a corner of the city. But Dreamer told me that this place does not belong to her personally. Instead, it is an independent dream world. As a dream walker, she can only enter and transform it. Based on her exploration these days, she feels that the dream world should be reflected in the real world. Facing the unknown ability has also given me a new understanding. Then I entered the portal with Dreamer, heading towards that dream world. Later, I arrived in a pitch-black sports arena. Dreamer said, "Let there be light." As soon as the words fell, the once pitch-black basketball court became bright. But I found her command a bit adolescent. Dreamer then claimed that before Doomsday arrived, she was a novelist. Then I told her that if she wanted to enhance her fighting ability in the real world, the best way was to engage in combat. I asked her not to use her abilities from the dream world to attack me, so that I could assess Dreamer's current combat level. At this point, Dreamer mentioned that her attributes in the dream world would all increase to be equal to her mental power, which is 48 points. Be careful. Even though the group leader, Boss, doesn't seem serious, he still instructed Dreamer to go all out. At this moment, I saw Dreamer clenching his fist, sprinting towards me. However, I just made a casual dodge and easily avoided it. Your balance is unstable, able to release but not to recover. Upon hearing my comment, Dreamer suddenly felt a little embarrassed. She then started throwing punches wildly, but didn't manage to land a single hit on me. Seeing this, I couldn't help but joke. Is this what they call the Fist of 5 Years from the legendary joking turtle fist? Later, I began to guide while dodging. First, control your center of gravity. The punch that you can't bring back after throwing it out is the weakest. Secondly, lock onto the target. You need to know where you want to hit instead of randomly striking. Thirdly, observe your opponent. Don't just focus on your own blind attacks. After observing for a while, I also have a clear understanding of Dreamer's current level. Let her remember these 3 points first. Tell her that I only used about 20% of my speed just now. With her abilities, she can easily catch up. After hearing my words, Dreamer looked a bit embarrassed. But I told her there's no need to apologize. As long as she practices hard, she can do better. With my guidance, Dreamer now has a clear direction for efforts. She said she will definitely practice hard. 3.5 days later, Purple Jade's song reported to me. The rules of East Mountain have all been posted, and someone will be responsible for explaining them in front of each bulletin board. In this way, the residential area of East Mountain can be considered on the right track. During these days, I have also cleaned up the area near East Mountain. The management here will be handed over to you all. I will leave early tomorrow. Upon hearing this, Purple Jade's song was somewhat surprised. Are you leaving already? I thought you would stay a few more days. After all, you are still missing one piece of your plague set. But for me, I don't have time to wait for a piece of E-rank set. After all, there are far more precious opportunities and treasures outside than it. This is when Purple Jade's song urged me to come back soon. Otherwise, if your White Emperor Palace floods, there will be no one to manage it. Upon hearing this, I asked Purple Jade's song to gather everyone. Tonight, we will discuss a plan to block the outlet to prevent the flooding. After a night of joyful damage per second, I successfully solved this serious problem. This scene, this YouTuber still skipped for you. The time came to the next morning. The Purple Jade song group is still snoring and grinding their teeth. And I got up early and dressed. At this time, someone had been waiting outside the house for a long time. She said she had come to see me about something. It was said that there was a disturbance in the settlement at the foot of the mountain. But I don't understand why they still have to come to me to report such trivial matters. The rules for East Mountain have already been set. Don't you know how to handle things according to the rules? The girl said that the man had been restrained. But someone said he's your classmate, so we didn't dare to act rashly. Upon hearing this, I immediately asked her to lead the way. I'd like to see which classmate is so defiant. After a moment, I arrived at the settlement at the foot of East Mountain Villa District. One person quickly pointed at me and shouted, "White Chen is here!" The girl indicated that these people are dissatisfied with a daily fee of 1 copper. They want to enjoy security and live in the settlement without spending money and without paying any cost. The person hurriedly said upon seeing my arrival that he is Chen Li, and I have also heard of this person. Our rules are not strict. A copper only needs to kill 1 zombie to be enough. Even if you can't kill, there are still jobs to earn money in the settlement. Why do you want to cause trouble with a group of people? He said it's not about the amount of money. This is where you are wrong. When doomsday comes, we should watch over and help each other. You should use your resources now to help everyone get through this difficult time. Please listen to the advice from me, the student council president. When you succeed, benefit the world. If you can cancel this rule, everyone will appreciate you. I can't be bothered to talk nonsense with such people. Everyone listen up. This is the rule here. If you can't accept it, get out right away. If you're still here 3 minutes later, you will be dealt with severely. This is the rule here. If you can't accept it, get lost immediately. I'll have Frozen start the timer next. Chen Li sneered at my words. There's no need for 3 minutes or 5 minutes. I absolutely won't leave. I am working for the benefit of everyone. They will support and appreciate me. The security personnel became very angry at the words. Stop talking nonsense here. 1 copper is not a burden for anyone here. Those unwilling to contribute are either useless or selfish. We will not protect these two kinds of people. The security personnel started to curse one after another. Can't even kill one zombie in a day. What are you if not useless? Since you can't even earn 1 copper, why not come to my house to be a guard dog? I'll pay you 2 copper. This immediately left Chen Li speechless. His face looked as ugly as if he had eaten feces. Just leave. I'm not willing to join this ghostly place. You wait for me. You will regret driving me away. As soon as I heard his words, I immediately spoke up and said, Wait a minute. Chen Li thought I regretted it so soon. In the next second, I saw my right hand transform into a sharp claw. I directly swung towards his waist to chop. Those who witnessed this scene showed expressions of disbelief. The others were so scared by the situation that they knelt down on the ground one after another. They never expected that I would take action against Chen Li. I shook the bloodstains off my claws. You are right. Letting a worthless person who resents me act arrogant and then run away. I will indeed regret it. At this time, Frozen reminded a few people. There is 1 minute left. Are you not leaving yet? Upon seeing this, one person immediately kneeled down and begged for mercy. I am willing to abide by the rules here. I am willing to accept the punishment for the trouble caused to the settlement. Please give me a chance. I am not an unreasonable person. You are a smart person. 5 copper will return to normal after a month. Then the rest of the people also started kowtowing and begging for mercy. We are also willing. Please give us a chance. After that, I entrusted the remaining matters to Frozen for handling. When I had just taken a few steps, I suddenly received a message from Dreamer. She complained to me that it's so difficult to improve her abilities in reality. She said when she has the ability, she will definitely come find me. Upon learning that I am in River City, and Dreamer is nearby in Wuchang. At this point, I expressed that if you are willing to follow me, I can come pick you up. Reflecting on the previous life, I was actually in Wuchang completing an S-rank professional task. Although it's not SSS rank, it can still be used as leverage to exchange for some needed resources or information. So I decided to go to Wuchang first. At a hotel in a certain place in River City, several people are hiding and surviving in the room. The remaining food can only last for 3 more days. At this moment, Liu Pingjiang complained. It's all because of that darn special zombie that not only easily killed 5 of them, but also has extremely keen senses. As long as someone goes down to the 10th floor, they will be noticed. Not to mention trying to escape from the back door. Several people who have no way out are falling into despair. It seems we are going to be trapped here. Suddenly, the girl behind the 2 of them reminded, Look over there! Only to see the top of the city's buildings. A black shadow appeared and was moving quickly. Seeing this, Liu Pingjiang felt a little uneasy. What else could it be? I can only see a blur. It wouldn't be a new type of special zombie, would it? Seeing the black shadow dashing across rooftops and walls, Liu Pingjiang felt it was too dangerous and prepared to pull the curtains. At this moment, Shi Weiwei told him not to worry. She felt that it seemed to be a human. But several people did not believe that humans could have this kind of ability. Shi Weiwei then continued, It will definitely not be wrong. Don't forget about my ability. Suddenly, Shi Weiwei noticed that figure approaching their group. Due to my low position, I was instantly detected by the mutant zombies on the street. When I saw that it was a tyrant, I was somewhat excited. What an unexpected gain. There happens to be a gear design that requires the bones of a tyrant. I was thinking of directly smashing it with a huge hammer, but this would affect both the drop rate and integrity of the tyrant's bones. Later, I transformed into Claw and felt that beheading would be better. I then quickly fell towards the position of tyrant. At this time, a group of people were observing all this from upstairs. However, they couldn't see clearly due to the distance. Only Shi Weiwei, who possessed the ability, was shocked by the scene before him. They started fighting. That person transformed, growing a pair of claws. Upon hearing this, Liu Pingjiang was even more certain that it was a monster. How could a normal human grow a pair of claws? Suddenly, Shuiwei witnessed a surprising scene. That person actually killed the monster. It seemed like he was even absorbing the monster. At this moment, I have absorbed Tyrant completely. Dark-Light Virus has once again acquired a new form, muscle enhancement, and a new form of shield. Muscle enhancement can strengthen any part without affecting the body shape and causing inconvenience, unlike other forms. And the shield's defensive power is approximately twice as strong as my own. Next, Shuiwei saw an unbelievable scene. I saw the man's face. She found out it was me. She started calling my name incessantly. When I heard someone calling my name, I looked up. But when I looked up, I didn't see anything. Liu Pingjiang quickly stopped Shuiwei. How can you be so sure that person is someone you know? What if he's a monster in disguise? The girl beside them chimed in. That's right. He easily defeated the monster that had been blocking us for so long. If you want to die, don't drag us into it. A dark shadow suddenly appeared outside the window. Is there anyone inside? It asked. Were you calling me just now? After hearing my voice, Shuiwei quickly responded. Yes, it's me. I am Shuiwei. At this moment, I am hanging from the top of a tall building. It turns out it's Miss Riversong Song's good friend. I thought it was someone else. Upon hearing Riversong's name, Shuiwei quickly asked me about Riversong Song's recent situation. Is she doing well now? Shortly after, I entered the room where they lived and informed them that I had established a settlement in the East Mountain Villa area. There are now probably hundreds of people living there. Purple Jade Song helps me manage the settlement, so Riversong is very safe now. Shuiwei appeared very happy upon hearing my words. But the others completely do not believe. What settlement still has hundreds of people? What's even harder to accept is that River City Queen helped me manage. You're not bragging, are you, buddy? But I didn't explain to the others. You'll know when you go. I wouldn't tell such an easily exposed lie. At this moment, the door of the room suddenly opened. When I saw that the visitor was actually my college classmate, I was very surprised to see him here. There are two other roommates behind him. They just heard someone calling my name. They were particularly excited to see me. I am also very curious about how they all ended up here. At that time, Shi Lin was telling me that it was on the day of their arrival. Liu Pingjiang went to support Shuiwei, the school beauty, at work, and brought many students along to have fun. At this moment, Mu Zhao said that he originally wanted to invite me to go together. However, Feng Li thought that I must be busy with something and couldn't make it. Then I asked them if many students from River University are there. If they are willing, they can go to the settlement area in the East Mountain Villa district. However, there is a rule in the settlement area that requires turning in a copper coin daily. I don't know if you can accept that. After all, I don't want to see the same thing happen again as last time. Upon hearing this, several people replied that they could accept it. They mentioned that if they weren't blocked by the monster, they could potentially earn not only copper, but also gold. However, they also realized that the road to the settlement area was very dangerous. They hoped that I could lead them there together. I replied that I had other things to do. Moreover, throughout the journey from East Mountain, this tyrant was the only one they encountered. It wasn't until then that they realized their misfortune and understood that this tyrant was not a common monster. Then, I took out a lot of equipment that I didn't need. They were very surprised when they saw my handwriting. These are low-level equipment that I no longer need. You can choose any of them freely. Then I told a few people that I had urgent matters to attend to and needed to hit the road. Since you already know the location of the settlement, I'll leave first. Then I waved goodbye to a few old classmates and left. Later, I continued to shuttle through the city like Spider-Man. Suddenly, Dreamer requested to chat with me. She mentioned that there was a person named Yorhan King in the group who was expressing distress, and she felt that her new ability could help him. In response, I asked her to directly tell me the situation. After all, with so many people in the group, it's hard to keep up with all the messages. The name your Han King reminded me of Ismail Han. At this moment, on the other side, inside the hotel, they are preparing to go to the settlement I mentioned. A place with more evolvers, and still very safe, is very important to them. But we need to prepare before we go. After all, this journey will take us across River City. At this moment, Feng Li pushed his glasses up and seemed to want to say something. Suddenly, everyone's gaze turned towards the window. My appearance interrupted their discussion. Why did you come back again? Shuiwei quickly approached and asked if there was anything wrong. I told her that I needed a room to handle some matters. Upon hearing this, Mu Zhao immediately said, "Come to Qijing's in my room." Then, I and the two of them left. I said that I needed some time alone. The two of them were more than willing to stay in the living room and watch over me. At this moment, Shuiwei suddenly thought of something and quickly followed to call me back. I just forgot to ask you. Do you know River Song Song's evolver number? I want to add her as a friend. At this time, they both want to add me as well. What is your number? But when I said 001, Qijing completely didn't believe it. He couldn't help but start mocking me. We are all evolvers. How come your dark humor hasn't evolved at all? At this time, Mu Zhao behind him quickly patted his shoulder. Qijing, you'll know once you join. When he saw evolver white number 001 agree to the friend request, he was shocked as if struck by lightning, showing an incredulous expression. I returned to the room a moment later. They were discussing in the living room about how powerful my number is. He said it was the order of becoming an evolver, indicating that he was the first one to become an evolver. At this point, Mu Zhao remembered the message I posted in the group before. The school moved the physical fitness test to the middle of June that time, causing them to exercise diligently for over a week for nothing. Qijing suddenly thought of something. Are you saying he already knew about the end of days at that time? It could also be a coincidence. However, we did benefit from the exercise, didn't we? It seems that I knew all this before the doomsday arrived. At this moment, Qi Lin looked to the side and noticed that Shuiwei's face suddenly turned unusually red. She then hurriedly walked out of the room to show that she was fine. And she reminded the two not to forget my instructions. Absolutely do not enter my room. Then Shuiwei closed the door heavily. But after she went out, the blush remained on her face, showing a very shy expression. It turns out that Shuiwei was just chatting with River Song Song. River Song's inexplicable words made her feel a little at a loss. She didn't understand why her good old friend would say such things. When Shuiwei thought about the imaginary scene, her face suddenly turned red. Could it be the same as what I'm thinking? Could it be not only little River Song, but everyone together? When Wei Shuiwei thought of this, she didn't know how to face it. She wasn't sure if she was excited or shy. A conversation beside her interrupted her thoughts. It was Feng Li and Liu Pingjiang. He thinks my words are completely unbelievable. There are too many loopholes in what I said. After Feng Li's analysis, Liu Pingjiang also found it unbelievable, saying that Purple Jade's song helped him manage the settlement. It sounds like a tall tale no matter how you listen to it. Feng Li, who heard this, had a smug look on his face. However, all of this was seen by Shuiwei behind them. On the other side, I successfully entered the dream world, explaining that I was a bit busy in the real world, which caused a delay and made me arrive late. When I arrived at the demonic capital in the dream space at Ismail Han's house, I saw that they had been waiting for quite some time, with just me missing. Dreamer and two other people were at home waiting for me. I was meeting the other two for the first time, apart from Dreamer. Finally I see you, White Emperor. I am Ismail Han. I knew you must be very handsome. I didn't expect you to be even more handsome than I imagined. Ismail Han. Dreamer quickly started to tease the flatterer. Another person named Draven said that his talent is SS rank embodiment of fear because Dreamer said he could bring along an additional teammate. So Draven came here to make up the numbers. After listening to Dreamer and Draven's introductions, Ismail Han realized that although he is S rank, his S rank mental control now became the weakest among them here. At this time I said, "Although your talent is lacking, you are quite lucky." If you had encountered this kind of difficulty a few days ago, Dreamer would not have been able to help you. Because at that time, Dreamer could only pull us into the dream world within her own space. Using the dream totem she gave you as the core, it will enable everyone to come to your house. Ability. This ability was actually just learned by Dreamer yesterday. After hearing what I said, the disheartened Ismail instantly became optimistic. In fact, my luck has always been quite good. Then I asked him to quickly explain the reason for complaining in the group. After all, Dreamer can only maintain 4 people. The time spent in the dream world is not abundant. Then Ismail mentioned that it was an exclusive task in the dungeon, and said the location was not close while walking. And Ismail's task is an S-rank exclusive mission. The next line of people arrived at the teleportation point of the dungeon. This is the Red Star Mental Hospital. When I found it, it had already become a dungeon that I had entered before. But I quickly gave up and came out. The level 5 to 12 nightmare difficulty fiend inside was just too much for me to handle alone. There was no way to wait until I leveled up before coming back. Because right after I gave up the dungeon for the first time, Cosmic Will suggested that someone had noticed my arrival. They might take everything and leave this place. After listening to Ismail's question, I immediately thought of a solution. Next, I opened the dungeon teleportation gate and chose to enter the Red Star Mental Hospital. Afterwards, our group entered the dungeon and arrived at the dream space of the demonic capital Red Star Mental Hospital. Just as we arrived at the hospital, a few people noticed a small monster. However, the dreamer felt that something was not right here. Ismail reminded everyone that the monsters at the beginning of the dungeon were not weak and should not be underestimated. At that moment, a monster orderly limped over, wailing continuously towards us. Upon seeing this, Draven wanted to take action. "Hold on, everyone. Let me try the strength of this little monster." The caregiver, who suddenly couldn't walk steadily, suddenly rushed towards Draven. Draven remained completely calm upon seeing this. He then activated his SS rank talent to summon the incarnation of fear. A huge scarecrow suddenly appeared behind him. The small monsters who witnessed this scene were instantly scared to the ground by the sight. A look of panic filled her entire face. At this moment, her heart also began to feel unusual. Just as the next second, Draven snapped his fingers, activating fear mode, self-destruct. The heart of the little monster suddenly exploded. At this moment, the panel prompts that a teammate has killed the caretaker. Experience is shared. After seeing Draven's ability, Dreamer exclaimed that it is simply the ability of an antagonist boss, while Ismail was left speechless. This is too powerful, right? I also think that this talent is indeed not bad. At this moment, Draven discovered that he actually drew a skill card. Everyone's luck is pretty good, huh? Its effect belongs to mental power. It's just right for Ismail and Dreamer. Upon hearing this, Ismail immediately declined. "I don't want it. I only want items related to exclusive missions. Besides, my talent already has a similar skill." Seeing this, Dreamer was also not polite. "Then I won't hold back either." Dreamer took the skill card and started learning the new skill. A prompt then showed that the skill, Shrill Mind Blast, had been learned. At this point, I asked Dreamer to use this skill immediately. Hearing this, Dreamer was somewhat puzzled. The skill has a limited attack range, but a wide sound range. If used, it may attract monsters even from other rooms. And what I want is precisely the aggro-pulling function of this skill. Otherwise, it would be too troublesome to search for them one by one. And I assured Dreamer that there would be no unexpected occurrences. After listening to me, Dreamer immediately activated the skill Shrill Mind Blast as I directed. Suddenly, many monsters appeared around the originally empty surroundings. Some monsters even leaped down directly from the tall buildings. All the monsters in the dungeon were attracted by the skill. As I witnessed this scene, I couldn't help but sigh. This monster attracting effect is really good. Upon seeing this scene, Ismail suddenly panicked. There are too many monsters in this dungeon, aren't there? Even Draven, who can one-shot monsters, reminded everyone to be cautious. Everyone must not let their guard down. Dreamer, who saw so many monsters, also felt worried. Shifu, are so many monsters really okay? I am confident in the face of everyone's concerns. Of course, it's not a problem. It just so happens that I can use them to test out my newly upgraded skills. After hearing what I said, Han immediately became confident. The group leader boss said so. Then I can rest assured. Let's start the fight. He summoned countless flying knives out of thin air. He attacked the monsters that were approaching. Every knife landed precisely on the monster's vital points. On the other side, Draven cast his skill, Source of Fear. Suddenly, the ground was covered in darkness. Monsters are instantly dealt with by countless black tentacles from Darkness Strangle. At this moment, Dreamer somehow pulls out a rocket launcher. Seeing the silly Dreamer acting so fierce, the two people behind him were momentarily dumbfounded. Isn't the ability of this dream creature too abnormal? It can even conjure up a rocket launcher. Won't the Dreamer boss be able to create a Gundam in the future? At this moment, the Dreamer is also having a blast bombing the monsters continually.